Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gashi's Kama TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. Even before his guest had left the country, William Samoei Ruto was headed to Japan. Even before the president of Poland, who was given a state visit to Kenya, had gone back to the country, our president was airborne, headed to another state visit in Japan. I remember Hussein Muhammad and other UDA diehards trying to tell Kenyans that William Samoei Ruto is going back to Japan 20 years after Kenya received another state visit in Japan. It had taken 20 years for a state visit to happen in Kenya in Japan. And this one caught my attention because we discovered it is a lie. We discovered it is not true because in 2015, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was given a state visit in Japan. Again, I also noted the hula balloons. I noted vile ambavyo wanajigamba ati kwa sababu William Samoei Ruto anaenda katika nchi ya Japan. And I call it this childish, if you ask me. And I remembered when I read what these guys were saying, I remembered Mutula Kilonzo, who reminded Kenyans that people like Mwai Kibaki, the late Mwai Kibaki, are a rare gem. And history gives people a good man like Mwai Kibaki once in a time, once in a blue moon. Because when you look at Kenya Kwanza wamekuwa wakijigaba kutokana na mambo ambayo hayana mwelekeo. Mambo ambayo they should not even be telling us. And how I wish these guys could work in silence. How I wish these guys wangeweza kujua maana ya msemo usemao Simba mwenda kimya ndiye hula nyama. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta worked silently. He did not kujitokeza kila wakati. In fact, many of the projects that were started by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta were never even launched. They were never even commissioned. But they were completed anyway. But William Samoei Ruto tunamuona akijitokeza hata kufungua minada, kettle dips, kazi za MCAs, kazi zingine za vijana wazee wa nyumba kumi. And something else is that they now came out to start schooling us about the difference between a state visit and an official visit. We know it. Stop wasting time. Concentrate on service delivery. Because how many state visits have been done in Kenya since independence? Lakini sasa, hii mambo yote ni ya nini? We know very well that after the tour to Japan, William Samoei Ruto will be headed to Namibia to attend a state funeral of his counterpart. We have no problem with that. But I think he can also send somebody else. He can send somebody like Duale. He can send somebody like his deputy. He can send the foreign affairs minister. But when you see the president hovering from one nation to the other, then Kenyans are still again asking themselves hard questions. And tunajua vizuri sana, there are a number of reasons why William Samoei Ruto is going to Japan. And number one, which is key to this, ni kwamba although what we know is that the Prime Minister of Japan is going to address, I think, 15 heads of state and is going to explain how he is going to fund in future, how Japan is going to give food aids to African countries, 15 of African countries. We know this is what. So, hii safari ya kwenda kuobaoba, having to celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. Who prays, who sings Hosanna when he's going to beg? Najua, kukopa ni aibu, kusema ukweli. Kukopa, hususan kwa taifa ambalo lina miaka zaidi ya 60 tangu inyakuliwe uhuru. Ni taifa gani ambalo unaona likitabaa kama mtoto mdogo, halijawahi hata kutembea? Just like a child who is crying at the age of 60. Then you have many questions to answer. You have many questions to explain to Kenyans, because you cannot pride yourself in begging. There's no pride in begging. And you know that is the reason why he's going there. So ile sababu ya kwenda pale sio kitu cha kujivunia. Secondly, we also know he's trying to look for aids. Yeah, mikopo, misaada. And again, this is not something to pride ourselves of, si jambo la kujivunia. Ati tunaenda kukopa. Yani, you brag that you're going to borrow a loan. Na unajua utalipa na riba with a lot of interest, and then you come out and start priding yourself, start bragging, start showing madoido, madaha, kedi, nini, ati vile ambavyo umekopa. In fact, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And we know that William Samoei Ruto has borrowed 2.5 trillion since he ascended into power. And when you look at what he has done with this money, there is nothing to show. Literally, there is nothing to show. If there is any, let anybody show me. Aniambie, angalia hizi barabara zimekarabatiwa kutoka na hivi. Angalia vile ambavyo tumefanya hapa na vile. What has this money been used to? Tumetumia hizi pesa kufanyia nini? Mikopo ambayo hatuwezi tukaelezea inafanya nini. And again, ni vizuri Wakenya waelewe vizuri sana that when you look, for example, at the kind of road projects that are taking place, the numbers are fewer than those of Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. Since independence, we have never seen the kind of few projects, road projects and other projects, development, the kind of development taking place in this country is in its lowest since independence. And this is happening in an economy that is worth more than 13 trillion. The truth of the matter is that William Samoei Ruto inherited about 13 trillion economy from Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Na sasa wamekuwa kituambia they inherited empty coffers. Kenyans are paying taxes every day. Kenyans have the right to know where their money is being taken. Kenyans have the right to know how their money is spent. And Kenyans, hii mambo ya kusafiri, ati mnajivunia mnasafiri, doesn't bring shagwe kwetu. Haina shagwe. When people voted for William Samoei Ruto, they wanted him to spend a lot of time working. Sio kutembea kutoka hapa na pale. Sio, because after he comes from now the foreign trips, utampata sasa juu ya magari. Foreign trips, juu ya magari, siasa nini. And then once in a while, a state visitor come, head of another country comes to visit Kenya. He signs some funny deals. And even what they sign, we don't see the fruit of these trips. Because if you ask me, what has, of what benefit has this visit been? Ama ameenda kukopa kompyuta, ama kuleta kompyuta, ndio sasa Wakenya, akuja Wakenya kufinya vile tunaabua finya dola zinaingia. Many people have computers. Umefinya gapi? Ni dola gapi zimeingia? Tell us. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this time kusema pole sana kwa wakazi wananchi wa Uingereza from what befell the Majesty King Charles when he was diagnosed with a cancer, which they did not actually explain. They did not say the type of cancer. Tunamtakia pole, tunamtakia nafuu, apate nafuu haraka na Mungu amponye, because saratani ni tisho kubwa sana kwa maisha ya Wakenya. Na wale wote ambao wanaugua ugonjwa huu tunawaambia pole na tuwasaidie pale about some people who are suffering from this disease. And I know one day this disease will be defeated. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.